Hello and welcome to the Fun Quiz Ultimate Trivia Challenge. There's 21 questions with 5 seconds to guess the answer at the end of each question. If you want to take part in the challenge, then you need to get 7 or more out of 21. If not, just sit back and relax and enjoy the quiz. Question number 1. Botany Bay is now the site of which modern Australian city? Is it located in Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra, or is it Adelaide?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Botany Bay is located in Sydney. Okay, here we go for question number 2. Who led the mutiny on HMS Bounty in 1789? Was it William Bligh, Edward Pellew, Fletcher Christian, or Horatio Nelson?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The mutiny was led by Fletcher Christian. Okie dokie, moving on to question 3. The first American president to visit China was Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, John F. Kennedy, or was it Jimmy Carter?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The first to visit China was Richard Nixon. Righty, okay, let's move on to question 4. Who played Sirius Black in the Harry Potter film franchise? Was it David Tennant, Gary Oldman, Colin Farrell, or was it David Thewlis?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sirius Black was played by Gary Oldman. Let's move on to question number 5. In which UK city was the ill-fated Titanic built? Was it built in Liverpool, Glasgow, Belfast, or was it Newcastle?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Back in 1909, the Titanic was built in Belfast. Okay, here we go for question 6. Slimcia and Nimble were brands of what food item? Were they brands of bread, chocolate, tea, or pasta?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Slimcia and Nimble were brands of bread. Righty, on to question number 7. Penny Black is the name of the world's first what? Was it the world's first bicycle, adhesive stamp, a train, or a miniskirt?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Penny Black was the world's first adhesive stamp. Okay, here we go for question 8. Which country first brought in daylight saving hours in 1916? Was it the USA, Germany, the UK, or was it France?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Daylight saving hours was brought in by Germany. Right, let's move on to question 9. Which US state is known as the Heart of Dixie? Is it Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, or Georgia?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Heart of Dixie is the state of Alabama. On to question number 10. Which iconic artist painted the Night's Watch? Was it Leonardo da Vinci, Pablo Picasso, Rembrandt, or was it Vincent van Gogh?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Night's Watch was painted by Rembrandt back in 1642. Question 11. The opera The Marriage of Figaro was written by which composer? Was it Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, or was it Chopin?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Marriage of Figaro was written by Mozart. Okay, here we go for question 12. In which year did Apollo 13 space mission take place? Was it in 1970, 1975, 1980, or 1985?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The mission took place in 1970. Moving on to question number 13. What does a Geiger counter measure? Does it measure wind, gas, radiation, or electricity?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A Geiger counter measures radiation. Okie dokie, moving on to question 14. A Maine Coon is what type of animal? Is it a horse, a raccoon, a monkey, or is it a cat?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A Maine Coon is a type of cat. On to question number 15. The Fog, Ash and Fluke were written by which author? Were they written by Stephen King, John Saul, James Herbert, or Richard Lehman?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Fog, Ash and Fluke were written by James Herbert. On to question 16. Which American state is closest to Africa? Is it Florida, Maine, Delaware, or Rhode Island?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, amazingly, the nearest state is Maine. Righty, on to question 17. In which comic book did Batman first appear in 1939? Was it Detective Comics, Whiz Comics, Fantastic Comics, or Action Comics?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Batman first appeared in Detective Comics. Righty, moving on to question 18. Which letter can be a shirt or a square? Is it the letter V, A, T, or is it the letter Y?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As in a t-shirt and a T-square, it's a T. On to question number 19. What is another name for a parallelogram? Is a parallelogram a decagon, a square, a rhombus, or a hypotenuse?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Another name for a parallelogram is a rhombus. Okay, 2 to go. Question 20. Which country invented tea? Was it England, India, China, or was it Japan?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And must I say well done to the Chinese for inventing tea. Right, the last question, 21. What year did MTV launch? Was it 1981, 1983, 1985 or 1987?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I remember it well, it was back in 1981. Please let me know how you did in the comments, it would be much appreciated. In the meantime, you take care. Bye!